Welcome once again to Can TV 21 Hotline. Let's talk etiquette. What a wonderful, wonderful subject to start off with. Talking about etiquette. Well, we do have a very interesting subject for you today. That this is the holiday spirit and the holiday season. But this subject here is somewhat between positive and negative. Can you imagine a subject that's between positive and negative? Well, it's that kind of subject for this show today. But let me start by giving you some, how would I characterize it, some introductions to this particular subject. Now, if you watched our show maybe 3 or 4 shows ago, we talked about civility campaign. EFOI 2020 Civility Campaign, bringing back good manners and great morals to our society. And it grew out of really about the campaign and how negative it was, and all of the name calling and biting and character assassinating. These subjects that was really had very little to do with the campaign itself. So that it was such a awesome time in our political life, in our political history, that we had to be subjected to that kind of scurrilous behavior, that kind of scurrilous talk and attacks against one another. And so we had to do a show on that subject simply because it just commanded our attention to a level that we said as an organization that we needed to say something about it. No one else was speaking out against it. So we are going down that road somewhat, but this subject is, how would I characterize it? This subject is really about hating. Hating. Hate is popular today, as you well know. And everybody's doing, well, not everybody, many of us are doing a lot of hating. But hating is a negative. And because it is such a negative, it is really driving us down that social moral ladder. I mean, really atrocious kinds of hate and hating is going on. So what we decided to do as an organization, as a nonprofit, was to add this to our 2020 civility campaign. This thing called hate. And it's just at a level that's almost nearly out of control. I mean, we see hate every day on our TV sets. We see all this hating. So we decided to add hate versus, love. See, it's love and hate. You love or you hate, right? So we want you to love, and because love is a part of etiquette. Okay? Hate denounces etiquette. Hate drives people away from the whole concept of etiquette. I mean, how are you going to be polite and courteous and considerate if you're hating? The two don't go together. Your spirit is interrupted. Your sense of being is in conflict when you are hating and you're pretending to be a gentleman, you're pretending to be a person of etiquette, and you're not behaving like a person that believes in etiquette. Etiquette is a continuum. You exhibit your social skills every day, every moment of the day. Every encounter you have with another person is an opportunity to say that you are an etiquette person, that you believe in good manners, that you operate with this as part of your character, as part of your personality, as part of who you are. And you say, oh, excuse me, ma'am. Well, thank you very much. Those kinds of little gestures are at the core of etiquette. But yes, if you're hating or you're in the spirit of hate, it's hard to be nice when you hate. It's difficult to, try to be one thing in 1 minute and acting another way in another. If your spirit is about hate, then it's hard to be able to say, well, sir, I enjoyed your company today. It was a pleasure to speak with you. Or any other gesture that would relate to you being civilized and humane. Yes, so to be humane, you really have to be positive. It's very difficult to be humane and negative or hating. So since hate is such a popular word in our era and this time in our history, I thought maybe I'll just speak on hate versus love, love versus hate, and see what side of that spectrum you would like to be on. And if you are a non-hater, then you're on the right side of humanity in terms of all of its potentials and all of its wonders. Hating is not on that side. So let me give you the heading for the show today so you can kind of chime in on where we at and call us. Our number is right there at the bottom of the screen, 312-738-1060. Hey, Steve, where are you? You haven't heard from you in a few days. I hope you're okay. Steve, give me a call. Thank you. But here's the subject. It's too large. Let's see how we zoom it down. Would that do it? Let's try this one. Oh, there it is. Okay, you can see it. All right. So what does it say? It says EFOI Restore Civility Campaign, Countering Hate in America, 2020 and beyond. How do we counter hate? You counter hate with love, obviously. So this is a major point in our history. When you see so much hating going on, I mean, it's so hard to believe that here we are in 2018 and our corporate media is just spewing so much hate. I mean, every second is almost devoted to hating our president or saying something negative about him. And, this is just tearing at the soul of the American populace when they're constantly being bombarded with this negativism directed at the President of the United States. And, what is that all about? I mean, he got elected legally, so why are you all trying to spew so much hate? Let me take this call. Caller, you're on the air.
Well, let me first of all, let me say,
see, I had to get you to call.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something.
Okay.
But let me say this real quick. Mm-hmm. I'd like to wish your family, you, Ken TV, and your listeners a wonderful, safe Thanksgiving. Make sure you enjoy yourself.
Thanks.
It's a great day to be thankful.
Yes.
Even if you don't have nothing but a chicken bone, be thankful that you're still on God's green earth.
Absolutely.
And listen, Paula, that's my call, but don't worry about it. I'm not talking right now.
Okay.
James, Paula, Ray, if you're still around, happy Thanksgiving to you and y'all's family.
Yes.
You know what? And really, I'm really sick today. I'm really sick, but I've been traveling back and forth. And it looked like, again, first it looked like it's on, then it looked like it's not. Mm-hmm. But trust me, Mr. Wright, wherever I go, you are always on my mind.
Thank you.
I mean, you are one hell of a man. You're a real good guy. Listen, just because I don't call you or if I'm not here, only thing you have to do, just like that, what you just said, Steve, call me.
Yes.
And look, I made sure I was going to call you today.
Right.
I'm always on your mind, so don't worry about it. If I'm not talking to you, I'm here in spirit.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. There's a lot of things I could say, but this is not the time to say it.
Yes.
This is the day before to be grateful.
Yes.
Sorry about that call. Someone's trying to call me.
Oh,
this is the time to be grateful.
Yes.
Give thanks to all your friends, to your family, and people such as you that come every week to try to educate us, try to help us. What more can God do for us? Again, you know my favorite story with you. If you help one, you did your work. And trust me, you work with me. So I know God going to have something great for you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Steve. You know I don't want to hog the show up.
Yes.
But I hope there's many other callers that want to call and say, Mr. Wright, you have saved my life. You have also helped me. Yes. Mr. Wright, please have a great day.
I will.
Thank
you, Steve.
And if I know I'm going to be here next week, I will be sure to call you.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this, Steve.
Sure.
Let me ask you, would you be willing to come on the show with me?
You know what? Originally, I was going to do that.
Right.
But some little tragedy happened.
Okay.
And that's why I've been traveling back and forth. If I'm not here, I'm at Houston. If I'm not here, I'm in El Paso.
Okay.
Then I had to go fly down to Miami. My best friend passed. So I've
Yeah,
really
my
been wearing
condolences.
myself thin. But don't worry, I'm gonna get you when you get through. Matter of fact, I'm gonna hold on.
Give me your number. Give
Man, to give
my.
me your cell number again,
I'll
and
give
I'm
it to
gonna
you.
give you my number,
I'll
and
give it
let's
to you.
keep in contact here.
Absolutely. I'll give
I
it to
tell
you.
the young man that when you let go, I'm gonna give you my number. I'm gonna hold on.
Okay, then give him that number. And I'm gonna give you my number live on air. It's
Yes,
seven
okay.
zero.
Well, listen, I'm gonna give you mine on live on here.
I
I don't care who's calling,
no.
but hold
You want
on,
to take the
hold
number?
on. Let me get it.
Okay.
Okay, what is it, Mr. Wright?
708
708
261
261
4547.
4547.
Yes.
Now, mine's write it down.
Yes. My he will write it. My producer will write your number down
Okay,
when
I
you're out
give it
there.
to him. And
So
again, happy Thanksgiving
happy
to you.
Thanksgiving to you,
And
Steve.
again,
Appreciate
thank you
it.
for coming in my life.
Absolutely. That's why I had to call you out. Call me.
That's what. Don't worry, I will. I promise
All
you.
right.
All right, now.
Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it.
Sure.
What a great man himself. And I really respect him highly, and I would be really honored to have him on this show. I mean, he has called us for years, and I think the audience would love to see him, visually see him. And we'll just talk. We won't have any subject per se to talk about. We'll just have a great conversation. It's reflecting on our lives and how etiquette has played a role in our lives and in our families' lives and our parents' lives. So yes, Steve, you have an open invitation to be here and spend this 28, 29 minutes with me. Yeah, I think Ken would be greatly appreciative of having you as one of their supporters to call in and come on my show and be a guest here, and you're welcome to be that. Okay, Steve? And again, have a great Thanksgiving. Now, back to the subject of this love-hate atmosphere we're in, but we're in a more of a hate atmosphere. And when we see the kinds of negativism that are spewed out at us constantly, every day, it is so depressing to watch TV today because it's all about how you're trying to manipulate me to dislike someone. You know, that I have no reason to dislike the president. I've never disliked a president, regardless of who he was or what he stood for. That was the people of this country's decision to vote him in. And so it's up to me to not be a hater simply because, my vote didn't count in that count. And so it's a subject we need to really give some thought to. This whole spewing of hate, what is this doing to our community? What is it doing to our children to be constantly bombarded with these negative messages that we see constantly? The corporate media is really gone way overboard and off base to be considered a media that's supposed to be reporting the news objectively. And so etiquette is being skewed in this whole process because people now are more meaner and more nastier than they were before. And so if you get people who are more meaner and nastier, then they're least likely to adhere to etiquette. And that's just the normal kind of reaction that you have when you're spewing hate constantly or saying negative things about someone, especially our president. And I get it all the time. I mean, it's like, I get into a conversation with someone and then they make a reference to the president. Oh, he's no good. Oh, you know. And so it does us no good in this country. It does us no good over the world to be so vehemently hating someone that we haven't even given him a chance to really demonstrate that he could be a good leader, a great leader even at that. And we know he's a novice. He's never held elected office. And there was enough people who voted for him to get him elected. Let's respect the will of the people. Okay? You'll get another chance. And even if you don't win who you want to win, the process is supposed to be equitable. It's supposed to be fair. And if it's a fair process, then what else can we do? If we don't like the process, let's change the process. Don't attack the person, change the process. And so this is why we're taking this time to devote a few minutes to this subject. And so we at the Etiquette Foundation want to really get the ball rolling on this era that we're in that's so hate-filled and hate-driven, because we know that it's so difficult for us to be more civilized through etiquette. Etiquette is a way of demonstrating that you are a civilized person because you are sympathetic to your fellow citizen. You show empathy towards them at every opportunity. But that's what love is about. That's what we want to demonstrate, that we have a caring spirit towards our fellow human being. And so we ask a person, a stranger, how are you? Do you feel okay? Is there anything I can do for you, sir? Or ma'am? See, that's showing empathy. That's showing that you care about another person. That doesn't necessarily have to be a family member or anyone you know, because your humanity speaks to that person's obvious need. If you believe they're in and have a need or have a situation that they need help with. So what do? You reach out. You help an elderly lady cross the street because you can see she's impaired to a degree. That's etiquette. That's showing that you care. And see, that's one whole philosophy of thought. And so if it's under attack by external forces being thrown at you every moment of the day about hating or disliking another person who is happened to be maybe the president of the United States, what do you serve? How do you serve your fellow man when you are in that state of mind? Ask yourself, who are you helping? You should be here to help someone, not to hurt someone. You should be here to uplift someone, not to tear someone down. Etiquette is certainly a discipline that requires it to come from your heart and your soul. And this is an opportunity for you to express how you care and how you feel about your fellow human being. And it's a wonderful discipline. It's a wonderful state of mind if you understand its purpose and if you follow through with adhering to it. You will be a lot more happier. You have a better life because you are here to serve your fellow man in some form or some fashion. To say excuse me, pardon me, or any reference like that is a way for you to acknowledge this person. You're giving them due respect when you say excuse me. Or if you say just thank you. I really appreciate what you've done for me. To show that you are sincere in that fashion. You can't be a hater and at the same time be a lover and a respecter of your fellow man. There's no divisions in this. A poor person is a human being. A rich person is a human being. You would treat both of them the same way. And so we're in this era of hate. And we have to push back. And I'm asking all of those who are viewing this show and passing the word on, let's stop this hating. It doesn't benefit us at all. Let the TV, turn it off. If they want to run that by you and try to get you to buy into it and accept it, and, don't do it. Just turn it off. And I'm saying that because it is unhealthy to be constantly exposed to this negativism that's coming through our TV channels and our TV sets, and it doesn't serve us in any way. First of all, what can you do about it? Huh? You just getting all upset and hating, what can you do? Nothing. You see? And so this hating is driving a lot of very dangerous people into some dangerous behavior. You know it. You know it. This whole era of negativism and, feeling depressed and feeling, apathy, feeling like you're not in control and things this is driving people into doing very negative and dangerous things. And so we have to change the atmosphere. We have to change the dynamics. And it starts with you and me and anyone else. Okay? Let's get back to some optimism. When I grew up as a young man, that was the era of optimism. I mean, we were so hopeful and so excited about the future that we were just so optimistic in spite of all the things that were going on in the society. I have a caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, Mr. Wright.
Yes.
This is what we've been saying for years. It's respect. We don't have respect for each other. But if you can't have respect for yourself, how can you have respect for someone else?
Impossible.
So all your listeners, again, you remember that little thing I used to tell you? Make 3 goals in your life, put it in your wallet, and check it out every time you make that goal. Check it out. It will change you.
Give it to us again. Give us the 3 again, Steve.
All right. What everybody needs to do is make a goal in your life that you want to try to accomplish. You can't not do anything unless you try. And a try is better than not doing anything at all. Right. But if you try just that first goal, you might accomplish one. It might take years, but again, just keep trying. And you might get a chance to get somewhere in life.
Right.
But everyone that's listening, if we want to make respect or get respect for people, everybody who's listening tomorrow, just say, good morning, how you doing? Good evening, how you doing?
Respect.
Good afternoon, how you doing? And to your loved ones, good night, I love you. That's all you got to do, just simple words. And it's going to make someone to think. But again, if you don't have respect for you, how can you have respect for others?
Yeah.
Just like that man shot that woman in cold blood murder yesterday.
Yes.
Over there at the hospital.
Yes.
He didn't shoot her. He stood over a human being.
Yes.
Not shot her once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times.
Yes.
How can any human being that want to do that? So it's just what you just said. It's too much hatred. Let's change hatred, and trust me, it can work.
It can.
Again, Mr. Wright, you see what you teach us?
Yes.
That's what you teach us.
Yes.
You keep on doing what you're doing, yeah?
Thank you. Thank you, Steve.
All right.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
All right.
That was a wonderful reminder. It always boils down to that one word, respect. And you have to respect yourself first before you are able to respect another person. And that's what the Etiquette Foundation stands for. It stands for respect. If any organization do not have that as their number one philosophy, then they're not doing the job that God put them here to do. You have to respect your fellow human being, regardless of age or circumstances. That has absolutely nothing to do with it. You are a human, and they are as well. You may be young, and they may be old, but it doesn't make a difference. That's the number. Thank you, Steve, for calling and reminding us of that and contributing that to this show. What a great word, and what a great man Steve is. But this is exactly what we're saying. You can't, if you respect someone or respect yourself and then respect others, you won't be involved in this negative stuff. It's a waste of your energy. It's a waste of your time to even perpetuate it in any way. Okay, so let's move away from this negative period that we are in now, in this hating period, and move back to this enlightenment called optimism. Optimism. We have everything to be optimistic about. Everything to be optimistic about. If our children was exposed to this thing called optimism, they would stop shooting Stop killing each other. Respect with optimism as the crowning of that word, respect. Optimism. And if that happens, all of these degenerate negative things that are going on in this society, and we see it every day. And tomorrow is going to be some more of that negative consequences on the life of someone who didn't deserve it. And that doctor, like Steve said, she certainly did not deserve to lose her life in the way she did. But anyway, time is out. I want to put up our information before we go and have you, or give you the opportunity to call us and share your thoughts and all that great stuff with us. You can reach us at 312-473-2942, or you can contact us through info@efoi.org. So please take advantage of the opportunity to reach out to us and join this campaign, this 2020 civility campaign. And right now we're going to be focused on this hating that's going on all over this country. We're looking so bad all over the world with this whole campaign of hate. Whatever happened to this thing called democracy that we promote all over the world? We tell everybody you want to be like us. How can I want to be like you and you're doing these kind of negative, counterproductive kinds of things? But I can go on with that. I'm going to conclude by wishing everybody a happy, joyous Thanksgiving. And we will see you next Wednesday, and have a great, safe one, okay? Thank you so much for tuning us in. Good evening.